They thought that your silence was surrender. They mistook your solitude for defeat. They walked away from your battlefield, brushing the dust of you from their hands, convinced they had witnessed the final flicker of your light. They closed the book on your story, not knowing that God was merely turning the page. They thought burying you would end your legacy, never realizing you were a seed planted in the darkness, destined to break open into a forest they could never contain. Life has a divine way of returning to the very doorsteps of those who thought they had gotten away with discarding a treasure. You see, chosen one, your departure was a symphony they only heard as a single, discordant note. They saw the closing of a door, the end of a conversation, the stillness where your presence once was. They labeled it a failure. They called it your loss. What they could not hear, what their spirits were too numb to perceive, was the sacred silence that follows a divine download. They couldn't feel the tectonic plates of your destiny shifting deep beneath the surface of your composure. Your goodbye was not a retreat, it was a recalibration. It was the universe pulling back its arrow, not to abandon the shot, but to aim for a target so glorious, their limited vision couldn't even comprehend it. If you understand that your leaving was a divine strategic move, type divine reset in the comments. Chosen one, that season of profound loneliness, where the echoes of your own prayers were your only company. That was not a punishment. That was the incubation chamber. God had to isolate you from the voices that were defining you to introduce you to the power that was designing you. In that silence, the opinions of man lost their volume. In that solitude, the dependency on mortal validation withered and died. You were in the wilderness, but you were not lost. You were being rewired. The very isolation they thought would break you became the crucible where your true identity was forged in fire. You weren't alone. You were in a master class with the master. You are not alone in this feeling. If this resonates, type "I am in the alchemy" below. What they dismissed as your stagnation was actually your sacred assignment. While they were counting your followers, you were following a whisper. While they were measuring your productivity, you were in a gestation period of purpose. They saw you sitting still and called it idleness, not knowing you were anchoring your soul to a foundation that no storm could shake. You were not doing nothing. You were becoming everything God ordained you to be. You were learning the difference between human hustle and divine flow. The most powerful moves of God often look like absolute stillness to the natural eye. Chosen one, if you're in a season where you feel hidden, type "hidden" for a purpose and know that you are seen. You had to learn to trust the whisper over the roar of their rejection, the roar of their opinions, the roar of your own fears in the midnight hour. But in the secret place, a whisper began to rise, a still, small voice that spoke of identity, of promise, of a covenant that cannot be broken. And you made a choice. You turned down the volume on the world to turn up the frequency of heaven. That decision, made in the quiet, is now reverberating through the atmosphere as a shock wave of divine realignment. You chose the whisper, and now the roar of your enemies is being drowned out by the sound of your destiny crashing into place. What they didn't realize is that you carry a spiritual signature they cannot erase. They may have forgotten your name, but the universe has not. God has not. The seeds of love you planted, the integrity you held on to when no one was watching, the prayers you whispered through tears, they all carry a divine weight. And now a reckoning is upon them. It's not a vengeance you orchestrate, it's a justice that God administers. It's the moment they look at their life and, in a flash of stunning clarity, see the exact shape of the void you left behind. It's the moment they realize that the burden they walked away from was actually the blessing they were designed to steward. If you can feel this reckoning in the spirit, type "divine justice" and release the need to fight your own battles. While they assumed you were starving in the desert of their absence, God was preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Your wilderness was not a place of scarcity, it was a place of supernatural provision. In that place you learned to eat the bread of heaven and drink from the well of living water. Your soul grew fat on the manna of His presence. And now, as you emerge, you carry a fullness they cannot comprehend. The table is set, the feast is ready. And the very ones who watched you walk into the barren land are now stunned by the abundance on your life. They left you for dead, and you came back dining with kings. Chosen one, you have become the ghost in their machine. You're the thought that interrupts them in a quiet moment. You are the standard by which every new connection is measured and found wanting. You are the echo of a truth they tried to silence, the memory of a light they tried to snuff out. They feel your absence not as a relief, but as a haunting. Their new relationships feel hollow because they were built on the foundation of your dismissal. Their success tastes like ash because it was gained at the cost of your connection. You are the unresolved chord in the symphony of their life, and the melody will never sound right until they acknowledge what they discarded. This is deep. If this just ministered to you, type, "I am the standard," and let that sink into your spirit. And now, the awakening. It comes not as a gentle sunrise, but as a floodlight in the middle of their night. It is the crushing weight of what if. What if I had honored them? What if I had seen their worth? What if I had fought for them instead of fighting against them? This regret is not a simple emotion. It is a divine correction. It is God removing the veil and allowing them to see, with terrifying clarity, the monumental error of their ways. They don't just miss you, they regret losing you. They regret the casual way they let a diamond slip through their fingers because they were too distracted by cheap glitter. But here is your greatest power, chosen one, your unoffendable heart. The journey has sanctified you. The fire has purified you of the need for their apology. You are not waiting for their admission of guilt to step into your freedom. Your peace is no longer contingent on their recognition. You have forgiven, not because what they did was acceptable, but because your spirit is too vast to be shackled to their transgression. You are free, and your freedom is the final, unanswerable argument against their betrayal. They expected bitterness, they find grace. They expected weakness, they find a strength that terrifies them. The power of an unoffendable heart is everything. If you are walking in this freedom, type "I am free" in the comments. Every tear you cried in the hidden place did not hit the ground and disappear. Each one was collected in a heavenly vial. Each one was a seed. And now, the season of harvest has come. The pain that was meant to drown you is now watering a field of blessing so vast you can't see the end of it. The betrayal that was meant to break your back is now the fertilizer for your unprecedented growth. You sowed in tears, chosen one. Now you get to reap with songs of joy. The harvest is so great that you will need the very ones who hurt you to simply help you bring it in. This is divine reversal in its most poetic form. You are no longer a victim of your story. You are the king on the throne of your testimony. The very pain that was your prison has become your platform. The scar they thought would be your shame is now your medal of honor. When you speak, it is not with the bitterness of one who was wounded, but with the authority of one who was healed by the hands of God himself. Your story is now your ministry. Your mess is now your message. And the grave they dug for you? You have repurposed it. It is now the foundation of your throne. They intended it for your death, but God has used it to establish your eternal reign. In the end, chosen one, they will never forget your light. They can try to run to new people, new places, new distractions, but your light will follow them. It will be in the kindness of a stranger that reminds them of you. It will be in a song that carries the same frequency as your spirit. It will be in their dreams, in their quiet moments, in the hollow victories of their life. They lost you, but they gained a ghost, the unforgettable memory of a love that was pure, a light that was real, and a connection that was ordained. And that, perhaps, is the greatest justice of all. They are not haunted by your absence. They are haunted by the stunning, irreversible truth of what they had when you were there. So stand here, in this moment, chosen one. Breathe the air of your new beginning. The chapter of their regret is not yours to write. The chapter of your vindication is being written by the finger of God. You did not just survive the plot to destroy you. You did not just overcome the betrayal. You absorbed it. You alchemized it. You took the very weapon formed against you, and you have now, by the power of a grace that is not of this world, fashioned it into your crown. They look back now and see the wreckage they caused, and they tremble. But you look forward. You see the horizon blazing with a promise you always carried, but are only now able to fully step into. They regret losing you because they finally see what God always saw, a force of nature, a living testimony, a chosen one. The grave they dug for you is now your garden. The silence they forced upon you is now your symphony. The battle they thought they won was simply the event that qualified you for the throne. Walk in this truth. You are not forgotten. You are unforgettable. You are not lost. You are found, cherished, and powerfully anointed. Amen. If this message found a home in your spirit, please share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more prophetic encouragement for the chosen ones. Comment below with the word that resonated most with you today.